do you have for us in critical thinking?
Well, I want to keep talking about what we were just talking about and look at forecasts, how we study forecasts, how we look at forecasts. The average person looks at forecasts and says, well, they're always wrong. You know, if you look at the history of forecasts, they're always wrong. So why should I even look at them?
Yeah, why bother?
Well, exactly. So that's the question. So why would you bother? Well, professionals and a lot of people in the markets do look at forecasts, but because they think of them slightly differently, not whether they're exactly right or exactly wrong, but they can learn things from them. For example, we, the professionals and other people that are thinking about it, critical thinkers, we don't think about a point, like GDP is going to be 3.0, we look at the trend.
Okay.
So if we think GDP is trending upward and you see that the forecasts are trending upwards, it's not so much that GDP went from 2 to exactly 3.0, but we think it's trending in that direction. So we give a lot more leeway there. Secondly, we look at who is doing the forecasting. So we can look at the track record of individuals and say, okay, they're looking and making good judgments on what's going on, because it's hard to predict the future, obviously. So you look at who's doing the forecast and what their biases are. You can see it.
Always look at the bias.
Yeah, you can always see some of the people that are biased. They're always bullish, always bearish, and so on. The other thing you look for is, why did they change a forecast? You know, if I used to think the market was going up, and now I think the market's going down.
Yeah, what changed?
Right. So the critical thinkers aren't so much that you were wrong, now you changed your mind, you're a flip-flopper. That's political jargon. That's not what we're looking for. What we're looking for is why. What was the key in your decision? And maybe I can learn from that, right? So if you used to think the market's going up, and now you think the market's going down, what changed your mind? Maybe I can learn from that. And the other thing is how often you update your forecast. So like the guy in the previous piece on the economy, he updates his every week. Every week he has new data. Every week he looks at it. So if he's been thinking we're going to have a recession for 6 months, and he's looking at it at the same time, he goes, the data keeps getting worse. If he turns around and says, no, we're not, that would be interesting, right? So then you'd say, oh, something changed. Another question, this is just critical thinking on my part, and I think this is probably the best question, is what you do when somebody makes a forecast is you ask them what's wrong with somebody else's forecast. So when you think of, say, I'm going to be bullish, you go, okay, great. My question isn't why you're bullish. The question is, why are the bears bearish? What are they doing wrong? So if you look at the other person and ask them what they're doing wrong,
that's a different take.
That's a different take. So now you're seeing if the person with the forecast is able to look at both sides of the issue and make up their own mind, or if they have no idea what the other side would be, they're just professing an opinion.
Oh,
So
I like that.
that's how you can separate out a salesperson from an analyst. A salesperson will say, oh, I'm bullish, I'm bullish, I'm bullish, I'm bullish. Okay, what would be the case for bearish? Oh, I have no idea. Well, if you don't know
why
what the case,
you think that?
Yeah, why would you ever be bearish? Well, that doesn't mean you're an analyst. That means you're a salesperson. You should just buy whatever I'm selling. So always try to look at what the other person or the other side of the argument be. And when you're talking to somebody who's making a forecast or making an analysis or whatever, see if they can tell you what the other side of the coin would be and how they jockey the two sides of the coin, or more than two sides.
Well, what's your takeaway?
So my takeaway is, when someone has a point of view, ask them what the other side gets wrong. Then analyze their answer to see if they really have something or if they're off base. If they don't understand the other side of the argument, they don't know enough of their opinion to be much good.